So let's begin. Material beading, my beads white. I got some in the container here. I got the piece we just did, or the piece you may have. String and needle. Make sure you're using the right needle size for what you're doing. I'm using 13 beads, so I'm using 13 needles. So let's get started. So first thing I do is put the knot at the end of my string, just as you would start any other project. I just run it through close to the seam where I start. This is what I do. And I just wrap around a few times and then get close to the edge of where I want to start and run it around. The reason why I run around, I don't just start here, because you're going to need to break beads and move beads around. If I wrap it around like I'm doing now, that gives me room for the bead to slide back and forth just for the first layer, so everything can be lined up. Just wrap it around, hold it tight, add your beads. So you want to add enough beads to wrap around this, roughly 2/3 to 3/4 of what you're doing. Not fully around the whole thing, because you're gonna be adding beads. And just like that. So there's a little gap there. I don't know. I'm probably gonna take 2 off just to be safe. You have it wrapped around. To be loose and be kind of hard to hold. So use your thumb to hold everything. Run it through the first one. Your first bead. I hate having all the string. It's in the way. And pull tight. I mean, use your mouth to hold your finger, or not finger. Use your mouth to hold your needle as a third hand. We'll see you guys do it. So once you go through back to the first bead that you added to your string, it should hold itself in place, but not securely. So this is what makes the peyote stitch work. Is you move one bead next to it and you want to offset it. So you want to put your string on top of it. So if you can see, it's not on the bottom of it, it's on top. So that's what makes the drop. And then you add one bead. Use a purple or blue bead. I don't know what color it's going to go. But you skip that one, put your string over, go through the next bead, and pull. But be sure your string is always on top, not running through the bottom of what you're doing. See? You run through the top, then you pull it over, and it makes that step. See? Makes it a step down. I'm going to goes on top, and that one's in the middle. Then you want to bring your next bead over and do the same thing. Put your string on top of it and get your next bead, which I'm going to be doing all the bead I'm adding with this purple bead. As I said, you get to push these forward, so then it gives you room to keep adding beads, but make sure you pull it tight so then your pieces don't get loose. Keep a few beads towards the front like that, but have everything pushed towards the back. So your string goes on top, run it through my nerves. Okay, pull it, hold it with your thumb, run it through the next one. Your string placement is really important. Make sure it's on top. And pull it. So as you can see, it makes that step look. So the color we added, it's on top. The two that are on this line are being staggered off. So you want to add an extra bead back from your reserve here and slide it next to your bead you just went through and put the string on top. as long as that string's on top, then you're pretty good. Then you want to get your next bead. You're going to add, run it through, make sure it's on top. And you can hold it here with your finger and run it like that. And I'll just make that natural step. So I'm going to go through a few times real fast. Okay, so I got to the point here where all my beads are bunched up together, which I had a few more beads than I needed to. But so far you can see the pattern in which it goes, makes that step all the way through where it's 3 beads just lined up. So get your handy dandy pliers and break 1 bead at a time, because sometimes it only takes 1 bead. Always try to break them sideways. Don't break them this way because you end up cracking it and you'll break your string. So always break your bead sideways and watch your eyes. As you can see, it left me with 4 beads. Well, 2 beads at the end, or yeah, 2 beads at the end before I go on to the next one. So same thing. We'll do the last one, go through the first one, this one again, and come back through. Just make sure your string's on top and tighten. So as you can see, I ended up having, just to break, I think 2 beads off, but it has all my pattern right all the way through. So once you get through that last part, you want to go through the first bead you set and run it through. And that's where you want to tighten your entire bead set, or all the beads you set, because once you pull around, I'll tighten it and I'll squeeze onto the leather or whatever fabric you have onto it, and that will hold it. So it'll squeeze together and it'll compress and it'll pull the string out and the string will hold it tight. So every time you pull on it, it'll just actually hold the string in place and hold itself in. So it's held together by friction, but you don't want to have too big of a gap with all your beads here. But once you go through that, then you can add your next color. So we'll add turquoise just to show the next layer. So you just go through your next bead, which is that purple bead that we just added, and just go through that. Once you get that first layer done, it's pretty simple from here. I mean, just don't be sewing through your string. Because once you get this part, I mean, the rest of it's just smooth sailing. So once you get to here, where I'm adding my last color to my first bead, you want to go through the last bead and then through the first bead you added on your first line. Go through those 2. And that's only a step you got to remember when you're doing this process, because if you don't go through that one, that part where you add your next color, row of colors, you'll be off and you'll have a weird pattern going through it and your beads won't line up as nice. So be sure when you add your last bead, go through the first bead you went through on the colors you just added. And then from there you can add your next row of colors, which will be the shiny purple or shiny pink. So just like that, keep adding beads, keep adding colors, keep tightening. So you see very little movement. That's fine. It's just as you go on, it'll keep getting tighter and tighter to beads use. I'm using 13, as I said. But pretty soon you'll get to this length. Once you get to here, and then you start running out of thread, right? And you put new string on, new thread. I mean, find a good spot to end on, even if it's a last row of beads or if it's in the middle here. What I do is like to wrap around this once, just so this is holding here and it's tight here. And then I just put my string, my needle through the piece one round, maybe 3 or 4 times. So then the tension is holding it in place, so I'm not having to put a knot on my piece. And watch for your fringe, because you'll get caught, or whatever you have out laying will get caught. And just pull that tight, and the tension should hold everything together, and plus you're wrapping it with your beads, so you'll be held together twice. And just cut your end off. My scissors are very sharp, so I can do that. And then you have your piece. And then, just like beginning, start somewhere up high, add your needle, wrap it around, and just go through some one beads, or where we last left off, go to that bead and just start back over again, adding beads. Round and around, tighten it. If you're not really getting a tight hold and you want to have your piece, because look, this is pretty tight, nothing's moving. I mean, the bottom may need a little bit, but it's all being compressed together onto this. So if that's not working for you, just tighten it here by hand, wrap it around like I did when I cut my string off, wrap it around and go through the same place and tighten it, and that string will hold it in place on this, your fabric or leather, what you have, and go through and it'll hold it in place. You can do it at the beginning and just bead it a little bit, wrap it around, tighten it, go till you run out of your thread, secure it down, and start back over again. And you'll have a tight piece all the way through. So, there's many ways to do this. Most people I've seen, they usually just add your string and go through it one more time, all the way through, like so. Just go through the last half of your bead. So then you have your string running through just the last bead you put through all the way around. This then there's an extra line of security, so then your beads don't happen to break off or get damaged, and it cracks and it cuts. Then it holds everything together. I hate this fringe. So we turn through the top one time, just to hold everything together, and it holds that last top row in place, securing it, because right now it's kind of just moving around. As you can see, if I put my needle through it, the bead moves. So I want to run one last run your string and needle through one last pass, like so, and tighten it down. Just pull it, and I'll secure that top row so that it's holding on to itself, or holding on to your fabric. And what I do from here is, normally I just try to secure it onto itself, or you can just sew back into the leather or whatever backing you have, just behind the beads, and bring it up. Wait, this is hard. So just pass it through, bring it back, and pull it tight. Do this around through it a few times. Just run it behind a bead, but go through the leather as close as you can. I broke needle, but you want to get the idea. It's a hard process. Bring back through, tighten it, and just cut it. It's So then if you have it tacked through on top 3-4 times, then it'll hold in place and your top row will be secure. Your last row of beads will be secure where it won't move around. So you'll have your top row secure. You want to do it to the bottom too. If not, you can add it, keep going here, have it run over a little bit, and then tighten it like we did with top row, and it'll bring this in. So then you have that little where it wraps around looking, where it looks like it's wrapped around. But, excuse me, that's what I'm showing you guys today, and this is a long video, and I was kind of nervous doing this video because there's a lot to remember, a lot to process when doing this. But that's the way I do peyote stitch. There's many ways to do it. A traditional way. There's other ways it's kind of a brick style, but this is traditionally the way I was shown. Old school. It's very tight. It's not going anywhere. Tightens on itself. It cinches down nicely if done right. It takes a few tries to get it right, but once you get it right, then there's many possibilities on what you can do. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and until next time, bye.